The afternoon air was crisp and golden leaves danced along the sidewalk as Emily pushed her baby stroller through the quiet suburban park. She was a new mother, exhausted but deeply in love with her little boy, Oliver. The park was their safe haven, a place where she could breathe, watch the world go by, and momentarily forget the weight of sleepless nights. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. A blur of fur and muscle, a large, scruffy dog, lunged toward the stroller, gripping Oliver's tiny blanket in its jaws. Before Emily could react, the dog yanked hard, pulling the stroller just enough to unbalance it. In a terrifying instant, Oliver tumbled out. The dog caught him, gently but firmly, and took off. Emily's scream tore through the air. "Help! That dog has my baby!" Parkgoers froze, heads snapping toward the scene. A man on a bench dropped his coffee. A jogger skidded to a stop, but no one moved fast enough. The dog, a shaggy golden retriever mix, was already disappearing down the path. Oliver held carefully in its mouth like a mother carrying a pup. Emily ran, her heart hammering. Every horror story she had ever read about wild animals flashed through her mind. The dog wasn't rabid, was it? Could it hurt Oliver? She chased the animal through the winding trails of the park, barely keeping up. Panic clouded her vision. Then, just ahead, she saw it. An old crumbling wooden shed tucked behind the trees. The dog slipped inside. Emily reached the entrance, breathless, ready to fight for her child. But what she saw inside froze her in place. Huddled in a pile of ragged blankets was a little girl, no older than 4. She was pale, her cheeks sunken with hunger. She clutched at Oliver, wide-eyed with fear, while the dog, her protector, stood between them, growling low in its throat. Emily realized the truth in an instant. The dog hadn't stolen Oliver. It had seen him as hope, a chance to get someone's attention. Emily dropped to her knees, hands out in a gesture of peace. "Hey, sweetheart," she whispered. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The girl blinked at her, clutching Oliver tighter. The dog whined, nudging the girl's hand. Emily's heart ached. Carefully, gently, she reached forward and touched Oliver's chubby arm. He was fine, unharmed, even calm. Emily let out a shaky breath of relief. The little girl watching Emily's face finally whispered, "He was crying. I didn't want him to be alone." Tears stung Emily's eyes. She looked at the dog. This guardian, this desperate creature who had risked everything to save a child, not out of malice, but out of love. Emily took off her coat and draped it around the girl's frail shoulders. "You're not alone either," she said softly. "I promise." Minutes later, with the help of kind strangers, Emily got the girl. Her name was Lily, to a warm car. An ambulance arrived, followed by the police. But there was no crime here, only heartbreak. Lily had been lost, forgotten, abandoned. Only the dog, her only family, had remained. As they drove to the hospital, Emily held Lily's tiny hand in her own, Oliver sleeping in her lap. She knew one thing for sure: Lily would never be alone again, and neither would her dog.